If your hip hurts when you walk, stand up from a chair, or worse, when you're just lying in bed at night, watch this before scheduling surgery, because what I'm about to share with you could save you from an unnecessary operation and months of painful recovery. Your hip pain isn't what you think it is. Right now, this very moment, you might be one doctor's appointment away from being told you need hip replacement surgery. They'll show you an x-ray, point to some wear and tear, and tell you it's the only solution. But here's what they won't tell you. Millions of people have the exact same x-ray results, the same bone-on-bone findings, and they're walking around completely pain-free. So what's the difference between them and you? The answer isn't in your bones. It's in the muscles, tendons, and fascia surrounding your hip that have gotten weak, tight, and dysfunctional over the years. And here's the good news, you can fix them. Today, I'm going to show you 3 specific exercises that target the real source of your hip pain. These movements have helped thousands of people over 60 avoid surgery, throw away their pain pills, and get back to living their lives. No gym membership required, no expensive equipment, just your body, a chair, and about 10 minutes a day. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that button and turn on notifications. And here's how you can help me create better content for you. If this video helps you, type the word hips in the comments. If you want me to cover something else, let me know what's bothering you most. Now let's get into it. The truth about hip pain. After 60, let me tell you about something that happens to almost everyone after 60, but nobody talks about it. Your hip joint, this incredible ball and socket joint that's carried you through life, starts sending out distress signals. Not because the joint itself is necessarily damaged, but because the support system around it has broken down. Think of your hip like the hub of a wheel. The muscles around it are the spokes. When all the spokes are strong and evenly tensioned, the wheel rolls smoothly. But when some spokes get weak and others get tight, the whole wheel starts to wobble. That wobble is your pain. Here's what most doctors miss. They focus on the hub, the joint itself, when the real problem is in the spokes. Those muscles have names you've probably heard: your hip flexors, your glutes, your piriformis. Over years of sitting, walking with compensations, and simply not challenging these muscles properly, they've gotten out of balance. Some have become so tight they're pulling on your hip constantly. Others have become so weak they can't support your weight anymore. And here's the kicker. This imbalance creates a vicious cycle. The pain makes you move less. Moving less makes the muscles weaker and tighter. Weaker and tighter muscles create more pain. Round and round it goes until you're convinced surgery is the only way out. But what if I told you there's a different path? A study published in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy followed adults over 60 with hip pain. Half went through targeted exercise therapy, half went straight to considering surgery. After just 12 weeks, the exercise group had reduced their pain by an average of 68%. Many of them completely canceled their scheduled surgeries. The key? They did the right exercises, not just any exercises. So let's talk about those 3 exercises. Exercise 1, the clamshell. This first movement might look simple, almost too simple, but it targets a muscle that's probably the most neglected muscle in your entire body, your gluteus medius. This muscle sits on the side of your hip, and its job is to stabilize your pelvis every single time you take a step. When your gluteus medius is weak, and trust me, if you have hip pain, it's weak, your entire body compensates in ways that create pain. Your hip drops with every step. Your lower back overworks. Your knee twists awkwardly. Everything suffers because this one critical muscle isn't doing its job. Here's how to do the clamshell correctly. Lie down on your side on a comfortable surface. Your bed works perfectly. Bend your knees to about 90 degrees, stacking your legs on top of each other. Your feet should stay touching throughout the movement. Place your bottom arm under your head for support and rest your top hand on your hip so you can feel the muscle working. Now, here's the key. Before you move, engage your core slightly. Pull your belly button in just a bit. This keeps your lower back from arching and ensures the right muscles do the work. Slowly lift your top knee away from your bottom knee, like you're opening a clamshell. Keep your feet together. Only lift as high as you can without your pelvis rolling backward. That's usually about 6 to 8 inches at most. At the top, pause. Hold for 1 full second. Feel that burn on the side of your hip? That's your gluteus medius waking up, probably for the first time in years. Then lower slowly, taking about 3 seconds to return to the starting position. Don't just drop it. The controlled lowering is where the magic happens. Start with 2 sets of 10 repetitions on each side. Do this every single day. Yes, every day. This muscle needs daily attention to rebuild its strength and endurance. Common mistakes? Let me save you some frustration. Don't let your pelvis roll backward. If you feel this movement in your lower back instead of the side of your hip, you're rolling. Start over with a smaller range of motion. Don't lift your knee too high. More isn't better here. Control and proper form beat range of motion every time. And don't hold your breath. Breathe naturally throughout. Within 2 weeks of daily clamshells, you'll notice something remarkable. Walking feels smoother. That nagging ache when you stand from a chair? It starts to fade. You're rebuilding the foundation of hip stability, 1 repetition at a time. Exercise 2, the figure 4 stretch. Now that we're waking up the weak muscles, we need to address the tight ones. And there's one muscle that's probably screaming at you right now without you even realizing it. Your piriformis. This small but mighty muscle sits deep in your hip. When it gets tight, which it does in almost everyone who sits for long periods, it can create pain that radiates down your leg, mimics sciatica, and makes simple movements like putting on your shoes feel impossible. The figure 4 stretch targets this muscle with surgical precision. Here's how to do it properly. Lie on your back on a firm surface. The floor is ideal, but your bed works if getting down and up is difficult. Bend both knees, feet flat on the floor. Take your right ankle and cross it over your left knee, creating a figure 4 shape with your legs. Now, reach both hands behind your left thigh. If you can't quite reach, use a towel or belt looped around your thigh. No shame in that. Gently pull your left knee toward your chest. As you do this, you should feel a deep, satisfying stretch in your right hip and buttock. Here's where people make a critical mistake. They pull too hard, too fast. This isn't a race. Think of this stretch like defrosting frozen meat. You can't rush it. You need gentle, sustained warmth to soften it up. Hold this stretch for 30 to 45 seconds. Yes, that long. Count it out. Breathe deeply. With each exhale, imagine the tension melting out of that hip. Don't bounce. Don't force it. Just hold and breathe. Then switch sides. Left ankle over right knee. Repeat. Do this stretch twice on each side, every single day. Morning is ideal before your muscles tighten up from the day's activities. But honestly, any time is better than no time. What you'll notice within the first week, standing up feels easier. That deep, gnawing ache in your hip when you've been sitting too long, it starts to ease. You're literally creating space in your hip joint, space that tight muscles have been stealing for years. A word of caution. You should feel a stretch, even an intense stretch, but never sharp pain. If you feel a stabbing sensation, ease up immediately. This is about gentle, consistent progress, not pushing through pain. Exercise 3, the hip bridge. Our third exercise is the powerhouse. If you only had time for one exercise, though I hope you'll do all 3, this would be it. The hip bridge builds strength in your glutes, your hamstrings, and creates stability through your entire core and hip complex. Your glutes, your buttock muscles, are the largest, most powerful muscles in your body. Or at least they're supposed to be. After years of sitting, they've essentially gone to sleep. They've forgotten how to fire properly. And when your glutes don't work, everything else has to compensate. Your hip flexors get tight. Your lower back takes over. Your knees suffer. It's a disaster. The hip bridge wakes them up and teaches them to work again. Here's how to do it right. Lie on your back on a firm surface. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor about hip width apart. Your feet should be close enough to your buttocks that you can almost touch your heels with your fingertips. Arms rest by your sides, palms down. Before you lift, this is crucial. Engage your core. Pull your belly button toward your spine. Press your lower back gently into the floor. Now you're ready. Drive through your heels, not your toes, your heels, and lift your hips toward the ceiling. Squeeze your glutes hard at the top. I mean, really squeeze them like you're trying to crack a walnut. Your body should form a straight line from your knees through your hips to your shoulders. Hold this top position for 3 seconds. Don't just tap and go. Hold it. Own it. Then lower slowly, taking about 3 seconds to return to the starting position. Don't crash down. Control the descent. Start with 2 sets of 12 repetitions. Do this 3 times per week, with at least 1 day of rest in between. Common mistakes to avoid. Don't arch your back at the top. If you feel this in your lower back, you're lifting too high or not engaging your core. Lower the range of motion and focus on squeezing your glutes instead. Don't push through your toes. Keep the weight in your heels. This ensures your glutes do the work, not your calves. And here's a progression for when you get stronger. At the top of the bridge, hold the position and slowly extend one leg straight out. Hold for 2 seconds, then lower that foot back down. Lift the other leg. This single leg variation is incredibly powerful for building stability. Within 3 to 4 weeks of consistent hip bridges, you'll notice something profound. Getting out of chairs becomes effortless. Walking up inclines doesn't make your hips scream anymore. That deep, achy pain you've been living with, it starts to disappear. Putting it all together. So here's your complete hip pain protocol. 3 times per week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday works perfectly. Do all 3 exercises in this order. Start with the hip bridge. 2 sets of 12 reps. This wakes up your glutes and gets blood flowing to the area. Then move to the clamshells. 2 sets of 10 reps on each side. This builds that critical hip stability. Finally, end with the figure 4 stretch. Hold for 45 seconds on each side. Repeat twice. This releases the tension that's been building. The entire routine takes about 10 minutes. That's it. 10 minutes, 3 times a week, to potentially avoid surgery, eliminate chronic pain, and reclaim your mobility. But here's what makes this work. Consistency. Not intensity, not perfection, consistency. Some days you'll feel strong, and these exercises will feel easy. Other days, especially at first, you might only manage 1 set of each. That's perfectly fine. What matters is that you show up for your hips every single day or every other day. Within 2 weeks, you'll feel small improvements. Within a month, those improvements become undeniable. Within 3 months, you'll look back and wonder why you waited so long to start. This isn't a quick fix. It's a rebuild. You're reconstructing the support system around your hip, muscle fiber by muscle fiber, repetition by repetition. Trust the process. If you found this valuable, please type HIPS in the comments right now. Share this video with someone you know who's suffering with hip pain. They might think surgery is their only option, but now you know better. And remember, the best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time? Right now, today. Your hips have carried you through life. Now it's time to give them the support they need to carry you through many more years to come. Stay strong, stay mobile, and I'll see you in the next video.